Hi, everybody. Welcome to Squared Up. I'm Bill Swinford.
And I'm Monica Daniels.
Oh, in the corner, it's Tom Mann once again.
Hi, Tom.
Yeah.
We are back. We are back in action after the Saluki Ball. We're going to talk about that today. Had a great experience there. I've got a book to show you.
Oh, great.
It's a gift that was sent to me or actually dropped off at my office. Mm-hmm. And then we have something special today, and that is a special guest from the Swinford Media Group, and that's Aaron Price of WFCN News. And we're going to talk about the phenomenon that WFCN is with 80,000 followers on social media and growing every day and active every day. So if you don't know WFCN, now is your chance to go to Facebook and follow WFCN, and you will be glad that you did. Whether it's storming outside or whether you're wondering why all the cops are going past your house, flying down the road, or if you're wondering what happened today. And he's a great source to get around. He far and away, the vast majority of the success and the work on WFCN is done by our guest today, Aaron Price. So we will look forward to talking to him. Aaron was also at the Saluki Ball with us. Tom, did you have a good time at the Saluki Ball?
Yeah, I had a very good time there. My wife and I both did. That was a good experience. Got to see a lot of people, meet a lot of people, and
got to dress up.
Got to dress up.
Yes.
Yeah, did do that. Thanks to Melise and
yes.
her place.
So our friend Melise Smith Oakley owns Melise's boutique, and it is located just down the hill from our office. Melise has been a presence in Marion. Well, she grew up in Marion, but she's been in this business for a long, long time. And she provided the tuxedos that Tom and Aaron and I wore. Tom was wearing if you haven't seen this, you can go to WFCM or the Marion Star or one of our other Facebook pages. And
we'll just show them right now. How about we just show you?
Okay. Yeah. So if you're watching, here it is, a little bit of what you missed. Tom was wearing a nice black tuxedo with a maroon necktie, right? A straight tie. I was doing the same, but with a maroon bow tie. Then Aaron outdid both of us by going with a maroon jacket. Yeah. And it looked very, very nice. You, my lovely, look beautiful in your maroon dress.
Mm-hmm.
Maroon.
It's a lucky find at Dillard's. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrific. Matter of fact, our friend Rachel Stroud, who is the director of communications for the city of Marion, and used to work with us, she came on and was one of the people there and that we interviewed along with our friend Sarah. Mm-hmm. And she said that she and Sarah and all the others that were on what she called the panel, which I think this was just a bunch of them and their friends discussing at their table during the Saluki Ball. They said Monica made the best dressed list. They thought you looked thought you looked beautiful. And there were a lot of people there, hundreds and hundreds of people there. And you were chosen for that honor. She didn't say anything about me. You know what I noticed? I had for the first time, this is the first time I've ever had like a real hanky in my pocket. And when I look at the pictures, that hanky's like hanging, is way up here.
I was kind of jealous because mine was stuffed way down inside and forgot about it. So it was down there when I got home. Mine
was like really wanting to be seen.
I asked my wife, I said, I didn't wear my hanky. Here's the hanky. She said, that would have been nice. And, so you had that plant growing out of you, right?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I use that hanky probably more than you do. I'm always blowing my nose. I didn't have to blow my nose on that, thankfully, but a good time. We talked to a lot of interesting people. Who were some of your favorite interviews on the maroon carpet? It was the maroon carpet for SIU's colors.
Always one of my favorites, Glenn and Joe Pashard.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, they are such the most beautiful souls. Mm-hmm. And while who were you interviewing? We were waiting.
I was interviewing Judge Gilbert, who's federal judge, and also he is the chairman of the SIU Board of Trustees.
And I was waiting in the wings with Glenn and Joe, who were just so patiently waiting to talk to you guys and having great conversation. They're just such sweethearts. And also the chancellor.
Austin Lane.
The chancellor is really gifted leader, very kind.
He looks snazzy.
Yeah, he was all dressed up and ready to hit the maroon carpet. And that was a really fun interview too.
Yeah, and Judge Gilbert was a great interview. Judge Gilbert's got history with SIU going back to the 1800s. His family has been a part of SIU all those years, many, many years. And so he ran down some of that history for us. There are a lot of interesting interviews. If you want to go back and hear some of that on our live stream, and then we got some great meal. It was a meal provided by Mary's there in Heron.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
And got to see some people honored. And then we were old, so we left.
We did, yeah.
We left, but we were one of the first ones there. I'll have you know this: we were one of the first ones there, but we were one of the first ones to leave because we were my feet hurt. I don't know about you guys. My feet hurt. Stand there that long in tuxedo shoes. I don't know what else to call them. They're very fancy, pretty shoes they give you with your tuxedo, but they don't seem like they want you to stand around and dance.
And I had the comfy heels, so I wasn't too bad with that time.
You had some good-sized heels, but they were comfy, huh?
Yeah, they were comfortable.
They were very sparkly.
There's a few tricks to a heel to get a comfortable heel.
Is there? You'll have to share that with me.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a special on that.
There we go. Watch for that upcoming on Squared Up. When we run out of everything else to talk about, that's going to be what we're
how to find a comfortable
heel. The tuxedo's the first time I've been in a tuxedo. I felt very comfortable, except the shoes. That's still a problem with me. I have feet, duck feet. They're real wide.
Well,
and so I have to get them like 2 times bigger than my feet, so I look like I have like a skis in the front.
Well, Vicki looked beautiful.
She did. Vicki was such a pleasure.
Very classy lady.
Glad she got to go
she is.
She sure is.
Very kind, very classy.
Married up.
Knows a lot of people, doesn't she?
Yeah. Married up, smarter than me, everything else.
Yes,
she
is. Yes,
she is.
Yes,
she is, Tom.
I mean, you can certainly say that here in this relationship, but we're very blessed men, aren't we, Tom?
That's right, we are. Yeah. That's really good.
And we got to do we did the 360 photo thing for the first time. A little thing of us dancing.
Yeah, we did the dance. That was sweet.
That was fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thanks again to Brittany Bateman. We need to shout out Brittany. Brittany is with the SIU Foundation and the SIU Alumni Association. And I won't try to tell you her title because I'll get it wrong, but she's up there. Yep. She's got an important role there, including a big part of presenting and publicizing the SIU through the Saluki Ball and other events. This was the first time they'd had the Saluki Ball in Carbondale. They've been doing this in Chicago at some fancy hotels up there because there's a ton of SIU alums in Chicago.
It's like 40,000, I think, the number that we were given.
Yeah.
Something like that in Chicago. That's a lot.
But I think they were very pleased with the turnout in Carbondale, so we'll hope that they do that again. Maybe we'll get invited back. We'll see.
I think we might.
I hope so.
No, it was good. Really good.
Speaking of SIU, I have a friend we associate with SIU in a lot of ways, and that is Roger Lipe. Roger Lipe is a regular follower of Squared Up, and he was the longtime regional director of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And he also is a very good friend of many SIU coaches and has been a chaplain to athletic programs over there. Very good friend of Jerry Kill, one of the most successful coaches in SIU's history. Has in more recent years been working with the basketball program. Nowadays, he works with an organization called Nations of Coaches. He's a character coach director, actually, and I'm not getting to see him very often these days. He and his wife's going through some health challenges, so they're kind of concentrating on that. And unfortunately, I missed a visit from him. He stopped by the office, and I wasn't there to see him. But he left me something, and I thought I'd share it because Roger's also a very talented author. He's written several devotionals for coaches and books, and I'm really looking forward to reading this book. It's called Here is Joy, Reflections on Sport and Ministry. Roger is I told you he was with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He's a wonderful follower of Christ and a wonderful person to follow as he follows Christ, as we sometimes say in the faith. And here's Roger on the back. This is even smaller, but Roger is a good friend, and he left me a very encouraging note. He appreciated. I think he probably watched a little bit of our live stream of the Saluki Ball. He appreciates the work that we're doing to represent Southern Illinois so completely and be encouraging of the good things that are going on. I first met Roger when we did youth ministry events together. A bunch of us that were either youth pastors or involved in youth ministry in Southern Illinois used to have a thing called Explo Fest. We were a youth explosion. We called it Explo Fest, and Roger and I were on the board for that when I was in my 20s. And Roger also had hair back then. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
It reminds me.
speaking of which, I'm wearing my hat today. I don't wear my hat very often on here, but I was in a hat mood today. And what did you say?
I learned a new term recently. It's called hatfished.
Hatfish.
Instead of catfish, you mean hatfish.
So what does that mean?
That means I think there are men out there who can use their hat to make them more attractive.
Oh, well, or to possibly, so here's the idea behind being catfished. Not everybody knows this. I didn't know this until a couple of years ago.
I think everybody knows what catfish
No,
is.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think may need to educate.
Let's
Make
take
sure
a poll.
I get.
Is there anybody out there who does not know what catfish
I
means?
bet there are, but it's kind of become a more common term. But to be catfished means that you, and the term makes no sense to me when you think about it, but it means that you are presenting yourself to somebody else in a way to maybe get with them, and but they haven't met you yet, and so you're kind of like tricking them into maybe dating you. Is that kind of the right idea? I mean, with social media, it kind of happens all the time.
With all of the filters that we have available to us now, it's the idea of using those filters to really just distort your appearance to make you appear way more different than you actually are. And usually it's used to make someone appear way more attractive than they
You would,
actually are.
you would think so.
Yeah.
But I also
Typically
seen on
catfish,
there was a show called Catfished Fish that I used to watch with my sons, and that's how I learned about catfishing. And
So what was the show?
and it was called Catfish, I think, but it was the idea. But there it was like people completely misrepresenting themselves.
Yeah.
Where they are, sometimes it would be men posing as women, women posing as men, sometimes just for the fun of tricking people.
My sons watch one like that. A Russian man with a deep Russian accent knows how to make himself up to appear as a woman, and he just pranks people.
Well, I'll be completely transparent here. This is very personal.
You wouldn't be a good woman. Is that what you're going to say?
I think everybody knows that. But when I first decided to re-enter the dating scene, I signed up for one of those online dating services. And suddenly some of the early interactions were like there were people that appeared interested in me, and I was not catfishing. I was say, here it is. If anybody's interested in this, feel free to drop me a message, right? That's how these things work. But some people are less forthcoming. But I put mine out there, and I was surprised by some of the people that were like checking in with me. And I had one, I'm not sure if I've ever told you this. I had one woman in particular who seemed very interested and seemed very nice and really seemed to talk my language. And we communicated back and forth, not for weeks, but for several days. And I was like, wow, maybe I still got something here. And turned out she didn't even exist. She wasn't real. And the way you find that out is because somebody else had reported that same fake profile, and that profile went away as being a fraud. And so
It's probably
then I was,
some guy.
discouraged.
A lot of fake profiles try to
Maybe it was somebody I knew. Maybe it was
try
a
to get
guy.
in your inbox
Maybe
and
some
talk
guy
to
I
you.
knew. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm starting to think of it. Maybe it was somebody that I knew that was just playing a trick on me. But I was doing it very privately, discreetly, and just trying to like take this thing very slow. And anyway, that's all I'll say about that. But the idea of hat fishing. So the way I understand the idea of hat fishing is that somebody wears a hat to be more attractive, meaning they could be bald under there.
Well,
That's what I think it is. Most guys
Or-
are bald, or they don't have,
Right.
or maybe crazy cowlicks everywhere.
Now there are plenty
or-
of listen. I don't want to lose
Yeah,
followers. There are plenty of attractive bald people
right.
Yeah.
Many of them.
who wear hats.
Our good
We
friend,
have good friends.
Tom Harness is very handsome.
who you hardly ever see without his hat.
He's very handsome without his hat. So
And if
this
you
is
don't,
not
and
about
if you didn't
Tom
know this,
Harness.
Tom Harness has no hair. Don't let him hatfish you. He has no hair.
I
But
have
he
never
is-
seen him without
has
a
no
He
hair.
hat
is
on.
handsome, like regardless, and we got a chance
Tom.
to interview him on the maroon
Tom
carpet.
has a great collection of hats.
And we saw his beautiful date,
Oh.
Zeppelin. Oh my
Lovely.
gosh, she's.
Do you think
she's
she knew
amazing.
that he had no hair before she
I,
dated
I
him?
think she did because
I
I,
hope
don't
so.
think Tom is a hat.
What if she still doesn't? What if she
Hat
still
fisher.
doesn't know?
He's not a hat fisher.
What
he's
if? What
he's
if
very
this is
transparent
what
about
if
how he
Zeppelin's
looks.
right
he never
now
lies.
finding this out for the first time? What
Yeah.
if we
Could
we
be.
What if we see Tom in a few days and he says, "Uh-oh, my relationship's
done.
over.
It's
I'm
over
not sure
with."
what happened.
Yeah.
All I know is that the last thing Zeppelin said is how much she enjoys your podcast, and then she broke off with me.
We need to have Zeppelin and Tom on here sometime. That'd
Yeah.
be so fun.
Zeppelin's great too.
She's
We can have
just-
Tom just take off his hat for the first time.
Yeah,
Real that in
well,
public.
yeah. Here's the thing. Tom is not a guy who. He's not shy, and
Yeah, that's true. He's not shy.
I'm sure most of you know
And
Tom
he's
Hernandez or know
very
like him.
authentic. He's
Yeah.
very transparent.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I can take the lights down and everything so they won't flag. So we can
We'll
make
just
it
cut
all
down
work.
the glare, for goodness
Yeah.
sake. Yeah. But Tom would not he would not do that. He's a genuine person. He would not hatfish you, but some people might. And I think if you're checking out somebody online and they're wearing a lot of hats, you probably ought to think about it and look into this a little bit and see what might be going on. Okay.
For sure.
So, but going back to the Saluki Ball, what a good time that was, and we're grateful to the folks at SIU for letting us be involved. We promised you though that we're talking about WFCN today, and we are probably close to bringing on our guest, aren't we, Tom?
Yes, we are. If you've ever been, let's put it this way, we've been down here in my studio, my wife and I, during storms, and we've been actually listening and watching one particular person, and that's the guy that Bill just introduced him right now.
Yeah, and here he is. Well, just go ahead and bring him on. This is Aaron Price of WFCN and the Swinford Media Group. Aaron, welcome to Squared Up.
Thank you. It's great to finally be on the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing some great work over the past few months. I'm glad to finally be on.
I think you are the first person other than us in the company who has been on the podcast. Am I right about it?
Except for
Other than-
Abby.
Abby
Yeah,
popped.
Abby
Abby
and
popped on at
Sophia.
some point. That's Sophia. Does Sophia count?
I mean, she's the daughter, family business, right?
Well, great to have you. Thanks for coming.
No problem. It's great to be here on the podcast.
As we were talking about earlier, Aaron was with us at the Saluki Ball, and we all had a great time. But Aaron never stops. Aaron goes and goes all the time. And I'll just introduce Aaron by saying I first met Aaron when he was a freshman in high school. And this was flat in the middle of COVID. And I'm going to let you kind of pick up your story and just tell us, why don't you start? I mean, you may want to go back further. Start with, how you got into doing your own social media news and then how it has evolved from here.
Well, COVID was so big for me personally, and I'll talk a lot about that. But kind of, I guess, where it all started, well, I'll start way back, kind of where I get it in my family, I guess the love for always being in the know. My grandpa was a master sergeant with the state police, and he passed before I was born. So he's always, he was their PIO officer for District 13 when he was alive. So a lot of people say I kind of get that from him, the need to have some public knowledge and knowledge on what's going on. So when I was young, I'd say it's probably been about 7 or 8 years ago now, I had pulled up a video on YouTube, and it was an After Effects package for like a news intro that someone had put together on YouTube. And I was like, I just watched it one night. I was like, that looks pretty cool. And honestly, that's kind of what started it. It was just watching a little After Effects template on YouTube. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm on Facebook now, so why don't I create a news page? This was probably late 2018 or so. And I was still I would have been in 8th grade then. So I started this news page, didn't know anything about what I was doing, obviously, at that age. I just started it up. I started sharing things to that page. And then 2 years later, fast forward to the end of my freshman year in high school, that's when COVID came. And that's when I started posting COVID-19 case maps. So I would take like a graphic and I would put the total amount of COVID cases for each county on that map. So that's what really got the public's eye to my page, which I named it WFCN, which, for those who don't know, technically stands for Williamson Franklin County News.
You're a native of West Frankfort.
Yeah, native of West Frankfort, yes. I did the school announcements at my high school at FCHS. Shout out to Miss Presley if she's watching this. She was very great for me in high school to kind of allow me to do all that. But yeah, my freshman year of high school is really when it kind of took off. And then obviously you guys reached out to me, and all the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, I can remember being on the square for the Black Lives Rally, Black Lives Matter rally that happened again in the middle of COVID. All of that was kind of happening at the same time, and that's when I met your mother and your grandmother there in the car, and I realized how many times your mother and grandmother were in the car waiting for you to cover news events and getting you where you needed to go. You were 14 years old at the time, and we were already blown away by your ability at that age. And we were all starting to kind of learn this live stream thing, and it became so important during COVID because there was just so much information to get out. And I remember those COVID maps that you would do, and how detailed that was, and how vital it was and interesting. And yeah, I think you proved right away that if you put good content out, it doesn't matter, your age, your background. If you're doing it well and doing it right and doing it in a way that makes it available, you're gonna build that platform. You're gonna get an audience.
Oh yeah, and that's just kind of where it started. I mean, I really it's amazing to think it's already been 6 years ago since I first met you guys. So man, time flies. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where it all started, was COVID-19. Obviously the pandemic wasn't good to a lot of local businesses, but honestly, it kind of helped me grow in a way by getting all that information out.
And we had a lot of teens working with us at that time too, because teens couldn't be in school.
Right.
But we were one of the, the media was one of the few businesses that they were just kind of hands off. They were letting us do our thing, and at times we weren't necessarily being real smart and following the guidelines and the restrictions, because we were out there working elbow to elbow to get things out. But yet we were able to utilize a lot of young talent in that time, and you were just one of those people that did that. But thankfully you kept doing it and stayed here local.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great little team there with the Marion Star Live for a little bit. That's, I guess, when I first kind of learned how to put together news packages with B-roll, and we just had full-on newscasts for several months there for a while the news was coming so fast we couldn't keep up almost during the pandemic. So yeah, that was kind of where I learned to more on the video production side of things. I'm currently at Johnny Logan, and I'll be at SIU in the fall, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm already sporting my maroon, even but
I love that the combination between the SIU and the Swinford Media Group. That's a good look.
I did kind of. I saw this shirt in my closet. It's been hanging there for a while, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that up to All Stars and Stitches and get that.
There you go.
Done.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it's been great. I mean, if you asked me 5-6 years ago, the page would already be up to 80,000 followers. I'd be like, you're crazy, but. Yeah, it continues to grow. There's a few viral posts here and there that help out with that. We had that firefighter and Christopher
Was that your most viral post?
I think the most viral post was what was shared to me by
Jared Gravatt. Yeah,
Jared Gravatt. He filmed that video of the waitress at Cracker Barrel, and that was on the Today Show and everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the second one was probably just a few months ago, that firefighter that was saved.
Well, and now we see how much the big news organizations are monitoring your work anymore. I mean, we've had several times when you've had drone
steal it all.
Yeah, exactly, drone footage and other things where they've asked us. I just got a message from CNN the other day about the Chathamans, and I said, well, that's a little out of our coverage area, but it's something that Aaron would report. But I don't think we have anything of our own to share on that. But there's just a lot of attention that the work that you've done, and again, it's just a testimony to hard work, relentlessness, You're very prolific, and you've when you think about the amount of content that you've put out and the very few problems that has caused, because I've been in the news business, been an editor for a long time, had a lot of reporters working under me, and I know it doesn't take much to set off a firestorm. And when I think how little of that I've had to deal with Aaron, considering the amount of content that he puts out, that's it's pretty amazing to me. But I know all of these things already. You all jump in here.
One thing is the thing that I've really appreciated lately has been whenever there's been some severe weather. I mean, you've been out there in the car. You've been
probably not the best idea, but
no, but the thing is, you've kind of taken us there as it's going on. The nice thing was it was like so good because okay, you were kind of behind it, and so it's like this is passed through here, it's passed through here, and that was how we really got what we needed to know. I was watching you, I was like,
safe?
Wow.
Well, I learned with each severe weather event. Well, really anything I cover, I learn more and more about what to do. And I really, when I was way younger, back in 5th grade, meteorology was what I was originally going to go into, and I'm not good at math and science, so I was like, we're gonna put the nail in that. And then that's when I discovered news. But yeah, I've always had a love for like meteorology and aviation too. That's kind of always been my plan B. Yeah, I mean that's kind of meteorology has always been an interest of mine as well, and I think we all know with obviously there's just not as many meteorologists out there locally anymore that are able to cover that regularly, and I already have kind of that basic knowledge in it. Now I'm not a meteorologist by any means, but
but you're very very well self-taught in how to read the area, how to read the maps, how to read the radar, how to translate that to your audience and to make that make sense when somebody's watching what you're doing.
Yeah, and knowing the maps is very important. Whether you're in the news or whether you're in meteorology, you got to know your counties, where every city is, and really once you know that, you see the meteorologists that come into TV stations. It takes them a long time to learn all that, especially in the TV market. How we have 4 states, they got to learn all of that. Obviously, I just mainly know Southern Illinois, but I mean, yeah, it takes a while to learn all that. And really, once you have that basic knowledge, I'd say that's the hardest part to get down. Once you're past that, it's pretty much, just kind of learn as you go.
So what are your favorite stories to cover?
My favorite stories to cover, I always like, honestly, anything that supports local organizations. Like, for example, just today, we're filming this. I was over at the Johnny Logan with the Pritchard Foundation, was giving out money to local businesses, anything to do with veterans. I know you guys spoke with Dale Fowler a few weeks ago. Veterans Honor Flight, I love, and in fact, that's coming up this coming week. Their flight out to Washington, D.C., so I love covering that. Just a whole lot of things, but I'd say, honestly, where I get the most drive when I cover a story is just emergency-type situations, emergency management, fires, tornado. That's really what I'm best at, I'd say, and what I...
Your grandfather in the Illinois State Police, that's in your blood.
Yeah, and although I never met him, I mean, I was born 3 years after he passed, but people say I'm just like him in many, many ways, so...
Right.
That's kind of, I guess, in the bloodline where I kind of get that love from. But emergency management photography is what I like to say is kind of what I like to do the most. But I do like a lot of different things. And sports, too.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I did the announcements when I was in high school, at my high school. I love media stuff. I used to actually put together cameras with boxes, and I spent a lot of time... not with my friends. Even when I was in college, I was too busy doing radio. I didn't really care about talking to anybody. That's all I wanted to do.
Well, and
is that you?
It's great that you brought that up, honestly, because that's a question I do get a lot, and it's really a question that I think is important. I'm 20 years old, so I mean, most 20-year-olds are doing many different things from what I'm doing. But I'm kind of in the spot where when I first started this back when I was in junior high. I mean, that's really all I did, and even into early years of high school. But going back to COVID, that's really what taught me, hey, you only have, because we were wiped out a whole year of high school. So that's what kind of taught me, hey, you only have a few more years to enjoy this part of your life. So, yeah, I still hang out with friends on the regular, and we'll continue to. So, yeah, I like to it's hard sometimes to balance that with friends, family, other stuff, but I make it work. I'll probably be even busier once I'm at SIU, but I make it work as of now, and yeah, somehow find a way to do it all.
And the good news, you don't have to sleep right now.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
I have to sleep. I have to sleep right
me
now.
too. Yeah.
But I choose not to. I mean, it is great to have this opportunity and again this self-made opportunity when you're so young and so energetic and that you love it so much. And I'm glad that we have joined our efforts together as we have, and excited about where this is going to go from here. We see things continuing to rise with both WFCN and the rest of the Swinford Media Group, and we are enjoying our time that we get to spend with you. You have been a blessing, a godsend for our group, and we look forward to many years together.
Absolutely.
And Tom is, I think, in the dark, and he's adjusting his light.
Yeah, I'm in the dark right now.
Tom's just flat out in the dark. Honey, you got anything else you want to ask?
Oh, so we were just joking about how if there's anything happening, if Aaron Price isn't there reporting, like, is it really is it happening?
Yeah.
So how do you get to so many places? How do you organize your time and handle and manage all of that?
Man, you and Tom are filled with very good questions today. That's another very good question that I get a lot is how do you kind of get your information on everything? I have a lot of different ways I get information. I mean, over the years, obviously, in this business, you connect with a lot of different people who will tip you off on stuff. But over the last 5-6 years, really a lot of it is just monitoring social media all the time. We've fortunately, I think, grown to the point now where people will reach out to us before they reach out anywhere else to say, hey, there's a fire in Heron right now. It's at blah, blah, blah. Come out and cover it or whatever. So a lot of that comes from just public messages, which if you're out there and you like sending us, news tips, that's how we get our information a lot of times. And then from there, it's just police scanner. I know I have a lot of great friends in the fire service that really provide a lot of information to me. Travis Skinner over at Southern Illinois Fire Incidents. He's managed that page for many years now. He's a great guy, and he we kind of feed off each other when it comes to emergency management situations in our area. Brian Burgess at Williamson County EMA is very great. Ryan Buckingham, Franklin County. Just a lot of people that really have been very helpful to me in kind of getting that information out fast.
Has there been those relationships? I mean, obviously you're creating those, and now I guess they know and I think when people see you show up, now they know.
Yeah.
So when you get on the scene, hey, state police, they know who you are.
Right.
You get the sheriff's department, they know who you are.
Right.
And then most of the fire departments. So has that really been a beneficial?
Oh yeah, it's been beneficial. It's just from learning, from the first fire you go to cover, you don't know what you're doing. The second fire, you're looking for the guy in the white hat, that's the chief. So, it's just little stuff like that over time you just learn. But, yeah, I mean, the connections are really important. I'd say, and you'd probably agree, connections are the most important thing in the news business.
Absolutely. And over time, that is one of the things you mentioned, over time, you can build those relationships. But you also have to build trust for those relationships to be fruitful. You have to do a good job with what they're willing to give you. In our day and age, the media is sometimes, presented as the public enemy number one by some people, but sometimes people can be a little bit shy about what they're going to share with you, and they all have, and in our business we also have to respect them when you go onto a scene and they are doing their job. So right, so you can't if they know that you're going to come there, but you're not going to get in the middle of it or cause them problems in the meantime. They're going to let you do what you do, and then they're going to come and talk to you when they can or get back to you later. In some cases, those are such key relationships. And one of the problems with local news in this area, and Tom and I know this going back to the TV station when we worked there, is there's such a turnover in reporters and others that are working in the news in this area that they just don't have time to build those relationships and those trust. And it's always the newsrooms are always kind of resetting and starting over and trying to figure out how to contact who. So that's something that you can, even at your young age, bring that's such a valuable thing. It's really the only thing I have to offer, I feel like, is those relationships and those years of trust.
Yeah, and people ask me a lot. Another question I get is, where do you see yourself 5-10 years from now? And I'm like, well, I mean, I'd love to obviously go even beyond where I'm at right now, but just what you mentioned, people don't realize that every time you change a location,
Right.
I'm saying outside of Southern Illinois, say St. Louis, Louisville, Nashville, Chicago, anytime you change a location, you have to rebuild all of those relationships,
starts over
and
again.
all those contacts, and it takes years to get all that.
Right.
I'd say I'm just now really to the point where I have a steady, where anything happens, I have a contact.
And then you also, just because you're from here, everybody knows you're from here, I think.
Right.
And then it's like you have this knowledge every time I hear you. It's like, what you're talking about, who you're talking to, what the location is. Like in those weather situations I was talking about, you knew exactly where the road, the very road you were on, you knew, and what the storm was crossing. I mean, that kind of knowledge, and I haven't seen that in a long time. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And I mean, another thing that I also wanted to mention this briefly is just transitioning from weather to also something I've learned a lot more over the past few years is, or wanting to learn more, and will continue to, I'd assume, once I go to SIU, is a little bit more sports broadcasting too. Sports was never something that I really had my mind set on, the path I wanted to go on. But over the past few years, I've really I helped you guys out with Wildcat Game Day. We did WFCN Game of the Week last year. I've really gotten some more knowledge in that area too. So, I mean, that's another thing that also as when I go to SIU, you'll probably see me participate a little bit more in, is more on the sports broadcasting type side of things as well.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot of fun, and it's we like to work hard, sure, but we like to have fun too. So it's fun when you're working your fun can collide in that way. And I know Riley, my co-owner and our editor, is so much in the sports world and enjoys that so much, and has enjoyed the broadcasting too. And you've done a good job with it, and we look forward to continuing to do that with you and seeing that grow. And I think speaking of broadening horizons, I mean, I think we as a company are hopeful to do that all the way around, and we look forward to taking that out a little bit farther and a little bit farther all the time. You've done that so well for us, including getting our foot in the door over at SIU and other things. I mean, we are just more and more a known entity, and a big credit of that goes to WFCN. So let's keep this going. I know that the more you do, the more people expect you to do, the more any of us do, the more people expect us to do. And sometimes that can be something that you need to jump off of for a while. Right. And so obviously for my only advice to you over the long term is just, make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that your health is good. You're very smart, that you're making sure you're getting those other experiences that a person your age should have, and keep that going too. And
you always say, if there's any other Aaron Prices out there, to contact you.
Exactly,
because we can.
I don't think there is,
or at least similar.
I've been in this business a long time, and I haven't ever met one. But I'll take even a half an Aaron Price. We look forward to building this thing, and you have brought us some other people that have kind of joined the mix from time to time that are great to have as well. So, Aaron, thanks for joining us today.
No problem at all. It's a pleasure, and I hope to be back sometime again here on Squared Up. So.
Hey, if anybody calls you a news nerd or any kind of thing like that, take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
That's all I ever heard. It's like radio, media nerd. And that's a good thing.
Right. Yeah.
Not everybody can do it.
Yeah, we are in the information age, and people are looking for their information as quickly as possible. And as Monica said, nobody does it as quickly as Aaron does,
Oh,
and
gosh,
he
I
is
know.
he is
Covers
on
more
it.
ground.
I mean, literally.
We were at the gala. I mean, at the SIU ball, and what was he doing? He was up front and getting
Yeah.
the photos, and
Oh, yeah.
I thought, were you actually sending stuff out at that point?
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew kind of basically what was going on there,
Yeah.
but I really didn't know in my head beforehand that it was Marion native that they were gonna congratulate. So I was like, okay,
Like a-
Marion.
Yeah.
Bill and I were eyeballing your food. That was
Oh,
the big
yeah.
thing. So.
Well, you said you were having your first creme brulee
Yeah.
at the event. I mean, I that's what I like about it is
Yeah.
when we get to have new experiences like that and
Right.
and go in and the folks are good to us when we come in and do what we do. So we're grateful for that also. We I think are about ready to call it a podcast.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
It's been fun. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
No problem at
And
all.
thanks for joining us at the Saluki Ball.
I did want to also mention one other
Go
thing.
ahead, go
before
for
I
it.
just clicked on my mind. I do have, for anyone who wants to kind of view, I guess, some of my past work or like where a little bit more about me, kind of my story and kind of where I see myself in the future. I am working on in the process of actually just putting my own website. So just kind of my portfolio
Cool.
of things. It's just reporteraaronprice.com. So that once that's published up in about a week, I can check that out.
Oh,
And
wow.
you can find on YouTube, you can find not just the Swinford Media Group, but a WFCN page as well. Go looking for his documentary on the 100th anniversary
yeah.
of the big tornado. I mean, that was very well done.
Very well
I appreciate it.
First
That
time
was-
tackling a job like
Yeah,
that. And
completely self-produced, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's. I'm proud of what it became. I didn't honestly think it'd be even that good, but
Yeah.
I appreciate all the kind comments out there.
very, very moving, very, very well done. So thanks again. And thanks everybody for tuning in week after week to the Swinford Media Group. For the Swinford Media Group, I'm Bill Swinford.
And I'm Monica Daniels.
And I'm Aaron Price.
And I'm Tom Mann.
See you next time.